During the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Milton, I thought it more important as a community to focus on us and prayer. So I recorded this Kol Nidrei appeal for you to watch and read as time allows you. For those that don't know me, my name is Lloyd Stern. I am very proud to be the president of Congregation Road of Shalom. I come to you today with an open heart for our annual Yom Kippur appeal. As we stood together in humility, asking for forgiveness and strength, many of us also had weight on our hearts for the horrible destruction our friends and families, homes and businesses, as well as our community felt. We are acutely aware of the weight this past year has placed upon us. It has been a year filled with extraordinary challenges, both as a Jewish people and as individuals. On October 7th, a little over a year ago, the Jewish people and the world watched in horror as unspeakable acts of violence were carried out against our brothers and sisters in Israel. The atrocities, the loss of innocent lives left us devastated. As Jews, we are taught that every soul is precious, each life in this world unto itself. The loss, the fear, the heartbreak. These are burdens we have all carried and continue to carry as a community. And here, in our own backyard, Hurricane Helene struck us, and shortly after, Hurricane Milton. Many of you watching know personally the pain of these storms, which left homes destroyed and businesses in ruins. While we are so grateful that God, in His mercy, spared lives, the material loss was staggering. Families displaced, livelihoods torn apart. And yet, as we know, it is not the physical destruction alone that cuts us deep, it is the emotional toll. The feeling of helplessness, of being vulnerable. I am warned, though, as myself and many members of our community put their personal needs aside to make sure others that may be in far worse situations were taken care of. But in the midst of this devastation, there has been a light. Road of Shalom has stood as a sanctuary, a place where you could find comfort, hope, and connection for 120 years. This sacred community has been a beacon, a light in times of celebration and a refuge in times of sorrow. This synagogue has seen generations come and go. It has witnessed the highs of bar mitzvahs, weddings, and joyous Shabbats. But more than that, Road of Shalom has been here for us in our darkest moments, through wars, tragedies, and now both a horrific attack on our homeland and a natural disaster that has touched many of our members. I think this community as a spiritual home, Beit Knesset, a house of gathering, where we come together as one people, united in faith and purpose, and Beit Midrash, a house of study, where we learn the wisdom of our ancestors and pass it down to future generations. But today, more than ever, I want to emphasize Road of Shalom as Beit Tefillah, a house of prayer, where we come to seek comfort in God and in each other, to pour out our hearts and to reconnect with what truly matters. As we prayed, we stood before God in all of our vulnerability. We reflected on our promises, on the commitments we made and perhaps did not fulfill. And we asked God to forgive us, to give us strength to be better in the year ahead. Yom Kippur is a time of introspection, a time when we are reminded of how fragile life truly is. The events of this past year, both in Israel and here at home, have only deepened that understanding. It's a time when we reflect on the words of Untane Tokef, asking who will live and who will die, who by fire and who by water. This year, these ancient words resonate even more powerfully as we remember those lost in Israel, and we give thanks for the lives spared from the storm here in Tampa, even as we rebuild from the physical and emotional damage that is left behind. Today, we also look forward with hope. We look forward to a future of this congregation, a community that has been our foundation through the good times and bad. Road of Shalom is not just a building, it's a family. It is a place where our children learn, where our elders gather, and where we, as a Jewish community, stand together. Over the past year, Road of Shalom has had to make significant investments to ensure that this synagogue remains a safe place for all of us to worship. We've enhanced security in response to the tragic events in Israel, and we've undertaken much needed repairs and improvements. These measures have come at a cost, but they are necessary to preserve the sanctuary we cherish. At the same time, there is so much to be proud of and so much potential for growth. Over the past 2 years, we have invested in our education by adding Mazi Goldenberg and Marcy Levine to our staff, as well as our operations under the leadership of Jennifer Richardson. But to continue this vital work, to ensure that Rodef Shalom can be here for the next 120 years, as it has been for the past 120, we need your help. For those who donated last year, I cannot thank you enough for your generosity. Your support has made a tremendous difference in Rodef Shalom. I am asking if you would be willing to match your gift this year, or if possible, increase it, even if only by 10%. Every dollar helps us continue to provide a safe and vibrant community for all. For those of you who may not have contributed last year, I understand that times are tough, even now more than ever, but even a small donation can make a big impact. We are aiming for a high participation this year because every single member's support is crucial. Even a gift of $18, high, the number representing life, can make a meaningful difference. It is not just about the amount, but about showing that you are part of this community, that you believe in the importance of what we do here. As we stood together on the sacred day of Yom Kippur, we were reminded that we are stronger together. We have faced tremendous challenges this past year, but we have also seen the power of community, the power of faith, and the power of resilience. Rodef Shalom has been here for us during the darkest times, and with your support, it will continue to be a beacon of life for generations to come. Before I conclude, I want to ask, is there anything more that Rodef Shalom can do for you? We are here for you, not just in times of celebration, but when you need us the most. Please reach out, whether you need help, guidance, or simply a listening ear. Thank you for your time, for your generosity, and for your commitment to this sacred community. May God bless each and every one of you with a year of health, peace, and security.